Sega Rally Championship was the very first game I'd ever played when I first got my Sega Saturn, and to date remains one of my favorite titles for the system. Unlike many early 3D racing games, Sega's early racing effort still remains quite enjoyable, even today. The playability starts with the excellent handling. Being a rally game, drifting around corners is the name of the game here, and Sega Rally hits the mark nearly perfectly, allowing you to execute breathtaking drifts on a variety of terrain. Speaking of terrain, the mud, sand, and pavement all feel dramatically different and directly affect how your rally cars handle. This was a novelty in 1995 and still feels quite solid, even today. The other thing that helps this game hold up today is the sense of speed. While watching the video, the speed doesn't seem too crazy, but when you're actually playing, it feels pretty fast. The frame rate is quite smooth as well, helping it stand the test of time. Lastly, Sega Rally is quite colorful, and everything looks like it should. The contrast is beautiful, and everything has a nice hard edge to it. The Saturn version isn't nearly as pretty as the arcade original. The car textures are quite pixelated, and there is a lot of pop-in. The issues are compounded when you view the replays, as large areas of the track simply don't exist, but to me, it's part of the charm. One of the few complaints I have is the lack of things to do. The meat of the game is the championship mode. You choose either a Toyota Celica GT4 or a Lancia Delta HF. Both are based on actual rally team cars from the mid-90s. The Celica is a bit faster, but is tougher to control. The Delta controls a bit tighter, but lacks the high-end speed. Ironically enough, I get faster lap times with the Delta, but can't get first place in the championship with it. You start the championship in 15th place and work your way through 3 distinct races. First is the desert, which features lush greenery and a surprising lack of cacti. Then you are off to the forest, which adds a new racing surface, tarmac. The last track is mountain, which is the trickiest course in the game, featuring tight turns through a very narrow course. In order to be successful, you need to pass as many cars as you can. At the start of each heat, your opponents are in the same point on the track. If you finish the first course in 11th, at the beginning of the next round, 10th place is at a set position. If you finish the first course in 9th, then 8th place will be at the exact same position. In order to succeed, you have to be in 4th position at the start of the 3rd course in order to have a chance. If you can manage to finish first after 3 races, you'll move on to a hidden 4th course, Lakeside. Lakeside is nothing more than a mud course filled with medium and hard turns. If you can finish first here, you'll unlock the legendary Lancia Stratos. You have to do it on the normal difficulty too. You can't cheat and use easy mode. And that's Sega Rally in a nutshell. The game is so short I had to record replay footage just to keep this video interesting. There is some Saturn exclusive things like tuning, time attack, and practice modes, but none of it changes the core of the game. There are 3 cars and 3 tracks, and that's it. This might be a turnoff for some, but I don't mind racing the same thing over and over, trying to best my previous lap times.
Medium left, baby. Finish! You how to drive. Let's take another look to see where you can improve. Remember, records are made to be broken.
One of my favorite things about early Sega racing games is the over-the-top music and sound, and Sega Rally doesn't disappoint. The in-game music is high-energy rock and fits the style of the game perfectly. You also get trademark jingles when you get game over or finish a race. An even bigger treat are the replays. I actually rarely view replays in any game, but as mentioned earlier, I needed more footage. The replays are your standard fare with interesting TV-style camera work, but the music completely changes. And there are even more ridiculous one-liners found here, such as, "You'll become Rally Roadkill," and "Remember, records are made to be broken." It all adds to the allure of Sega Rally. It's a simple game, it's far too short, but it really doesn't matter. It captures the arcade experience faithfully, and 18 years later is still an absolute blast to play.